I'm about to review 5 Instagram pages of various health experts, and I think this will be very helpful for you if you're looking to improve your messaging, get your word out, stand out in a crowded sea of noise. What I'm about to share with you, I've never seen these pages, I don't know who these people are, but I already see some concerning things. Uriel Kamer, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. For the past 20 years, I've been building 7- and 8-figure companies online in the health and wellness space, and now we help thousands of others do just that. So if you're here, you're wanting to grow your coaching business, you're wanting to get your word out, you wanting to get more clients coming in, and most likely, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably have a social media presence, right? Whether that's active or passive, or whether you like it or not. What I'm going to share with you here is very, very helpful because when I look at someone's Instagram profile, and by all means, my profile is not perfect. We're always trying to figure out how we can improve things. But when I look at someone's social media profile, even their website, I can tell a lot about their business based on clarity, lack thereof, the type of messaging they use or not. And so I want to give you some how I would look at this stuff from my perspective, because I think you can use what I'm about to share to assess your own Instagram profile to improve its clarity. Because if you have a clearer, more compelling message, you'll get more followers are turning to more clients most likely. And so at the very minimum, I think we'll have a lot of fun with this. So I've got my coffee. You may want to grab yours or a green juice or a pen and paper, and let's dive in. Just disclaimer once again, I don't know any of these people. Now, some of them follow me. I don't know who they are. I've never connected with them. I've never even looked at their pages before this video. So I'm gonna just say what I say. Again, it's constructive feedback. I just wanna help them out. I wanna help you out. Okay, so the first one we're looking at here is Coach Corey Rentz. First thing we notice here is obviously using Twitter posts. So this style of format is known as a Twitter post, right? It looks like he posted it on Twitter, whether he created it on Canva or actually posted it in Twitter to make it look like whatever. This format is known as a Twitter post. That's cool, right? There's a lot of good stuff that can come out of these types of posts. But my concern right off the bat is it looks very messy, right? So my initial aesthetic, now I don't really care what someone's profile aesthetically looks like. I think way too many people focus on that. But what I'm more concerned about here is that it's actually I can't read the text on the Twitter post. So a really simple fix on this is just if Corey or you or anyone else is creating these types of posts, just make sure you bring the text in a little bit. And you can actually very easily do this in Canva. Whether you're copy pasting a screenshot from Twitter or you're typing it out manually in Canva, there's usually a safe guardrail area. Make sure the text is in that. Whether it's 4x5, 1080 by 1350, which is the dimensions 4x5, or if it's square, 1080 by 1080, those are the 2 formats that are going to be used in the feeds. So just make sure that the text is off the borders, because otherwise it's very hard to read this. So that's my first impression, okay? Now, I'm going to look at the bio, because the bio is where I get a lot of intel. So I coach people over 40 to look awesome. Okay, we have a little bit of clarity, but are we talking men and women? Probably over 40 to look awesome. Does that mean put on muscle, lose weight? I'm not clear about that. And I think there's a little bit of vagueness here. And from that, what I'm gathering is that a lot of his clientele is coming from word of mouth and people that may already know him, right? Because when you have vague messaging like this, either your business is suffering hardcore, or you have a business based on word of mouth because people are just hey, you got to work with Corey. He's awesome, right? When I was a trainer and nutritionist, I helped people over 30 look and feel awesome. Men, women, short, tall, fat, skinny. It didn't matter. I didn't have to worry about my messaging because people fell into my lap working at a gym. But when you actually grow a business online or use the internet to grow your business, you have to be very conscious of how you're proactively going to market yourself. So as an example, I don't know Corey, but if I were him and I were working with guys over 40, I might say something like, I coach guys over 40 to look better than they did in their 30s or 20s, something like that. So now even just that clarity is specifically for guys over 40 who want to look better than they did in their 20s. That's usually an aesthetic thing. Now, the big opportunity with this is I'm sure Corey's a smart dude, but man, let's get some before and afters in here. Now you can see that his posting format, his content style kind of shifted, right? And it went from him on camera, and for whatever reason, he shifted that to more of this Twitter style stuff. I don't know why, right? I don't think one or the other is better. I think it's, sometimes a combination of whatever you feel comfortable and can easily produce. But I'd want to see, I'm a big fan of having like, who are you? Like, I want to see you on camera. I want to get to know you. Like, let's talk, right? Share your awesomeness. But I think what's really important here is I don't see any transformations of his clients. So if I'm working with, especially if you're in the health and fitness space and you're working on body transformation, like you got to show this stuff. You got to show your clients before, not like at least one here, right? So this is actually him. Cool. But if you coach people over 40 to look awesome, like let's see the pictures. Like the more proof you have, the better. So that would be my third piece of feedback here, is just show some more proof of what you do. You can see here, BS and MS in exercise nutrition, 25 years experience, cool. ND, Minnesota, Florida, look awesome. Okay, cool. So private Facebook group. Okay, if that's the goal, we're getting people from Instagram over to a private Facebook group. I don't know what's happening in the private Facebook group, but it is what it is. So my big three things here are, we have messaging in the form of content that's very hard to consume because it's just going beyond the boundaries of the dimensions. 2, I think the profile can be a little bit tighter in terms of the avatar. And 3, I'd love to see some more transformations, because right away that's going to get my attention as someone who might be a potential client. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So this is Heidi, and let's start off at the top here with the IG profile. Okay, so nutrition and embodiment therapist. So I've been in this space now for 26 years and 20 of those years online. I still don't understand what a specifically an embodiment therapist means. I don't understand that. If I don't understand that, do you think the average person understands that? Probably not. Really smart people need to dumb down their messaging, right? You are a health expert or coach, so am I, and we know a lot, but our audience doesn't. They don't understand, like even just drinking water on a daily basis is a game changer. So when you say you're a nutrition and embodiment therapist, that's a label that describes who you are, but it doesn't tell me who you help or why I should care. Remember, so what? Who cares? What's in it for me? Okay, these are the 3 filters every one of us is using when we come across anything, an ad on TV, something like this, a website, someone knocking at your door. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? So if I look at this, nutrition and embody therapist, so what? Who cares? What's in it for me? 0. Next, whole self-care warrior. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? I don't know what that means. Author of Nourish and Nurture. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? Free inspiration below. I don't want inspiration. I have a problem I want solved. So right off the bat, this bio is all about Heidi and not about the avatar she's serving. Now, I'm assuming that she probably deals with probably a wide variety of, I'm going to say women here, who have a bunch of stuff going on, right? But again, like I don't know, other than if I'm in a conversation with her, like what she does. So I would want to see something like, I don't know, like, I mean, I help women overcome years of trauma, like whatever the problem is. Like when we first work with clients, the first thing that we do is we identify the profitable problem and the perfect client. The profitable problem, it's less about the client and it's more about the problem. So when I ask people like, what type of clients do you work with? It's kind of a big question, because they'll say like, I work with moms. I'm like, okay, what specific problem do these moms have that you're solving or helping them solve? That's the real question. So in this case, I don't know anything about this. So I'm just going to follow her based on what? Like I can tell she has 2,700 followers and she's following 2,100 people. So I'm assuming that she's grown her following by following a lot of other people. And then based on reciprocity, they followed her back. Not based on the clarity of her message, just based on tick for tat, right? Okay. If I look at the content here, I have 0 understanding of how any of this is meaningful to me if I'm her perfect avatar. I mean, listen, social media, sometimes it's more entertaining. It's more about grabbing attention. It doesn't always have to be educational. I totally understand that. But I have to understand, like, so social media, if it's not fun and strategic, why bother? Okay, so there's a lot of stuff around like my little brother not editing my videos ever again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What does that have to do with nutrition and embodiment therapist? So you can run your social however you want. Like you could have a business, but your whole social is very personal and like whatever. But I still need to know, like, if I'm your perfect avatar, I need to come to this page and understand, like, is this for me? Because what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to click through every single post to figure that out. So I look at this and I'm like, man, I'm probably going to bounce. But you can see, like, even this one here, this had is obviously a lot of engagement. So you can see generally, and this is one of those things where you have to be very careful. Sometimes the type of content you post that gets the most engagement is not the type of content that's going to bring in your perfect clients. I have battled with this back and forth where I have created content that's more entertaining and it gets way more engagement, but it doesn't lead to anything. And then I'll post something that's more client testimonials that has no reach, very small impressions, but it leads to people actually doing business with us. So it's not that you have to do one or the other. You just have to be very mindful and strategic about what it is that you're doing. All right. So again, like, I don't know. I mean, there's some nice personalities, some personal photos, cool, awesome. But I think the big thing here is just like the bio. Like, can we clean this up a little bit? Okay, let's look at the next one. So Carolina Tillotson. So award-winning nervous system-based chiropractor and functional health. Okay, cool. I don't know if I'm putting myself in the shoes of a average person, right? I don't know what nervous system-based chiropractor is. I thought all chiropractors are nervous system-based, right? But I don't know what that means. So again, it's about like, so what? Who cares what's in it for me? Internationally best-selling co-author. Okay, so what? Who cares what's in it for me? Webster certified. I don't even know what that means. Like, are you like a dictionary certified? So again, and then at the Atlanta Birth Collective. Okay, so that's interesting. Is that like another? I'm not even sure what's going on there. Okay, if I'm Carolina in this profile, first thing I don't know is, I'm assuming, is you work with people in person, right? Let's just assume that because all of her photos are in the clinic. I'm assuming that she's not building her business online. Let's just take that into consideration. So if that's the case, where do you live? So Buckhead, Atlanta chiropractor. Cool. So why not put that in the bio? Award-winning chiropractor serving Atlanta, greater Atlanta area, Buckhead, Atlanta. Like something very specific where if now you can have that in your profile, people in Atlanta or Georgia can search by that tag or by location, and you might show up more easily. I would also want to make sure that all of my posts, if I'm a local business, all of my posts, hashtag Buckhead, Atlanta chiropractor. So let's see if we have some of that over here. Okay, Buckhead moms, I'm assuming that's a thing. Atlanta mom, Atlanta chiropractor. Okay, so that's good. So she's using location-based hashtags. 100% do that if you have a local business. I think this, like as a chiropractor, again, like naturally we help more people build their businesses online, but that's, it's all good here. I think as a local chiropractor, it is good to show what it looks like when you're working with patients. Like, what does the clinic look like? What is it like? Giving people transparency. Like, what does it look like behind closed doors? Let me get a sense of like, is this the type of place that I want to come to? You've obviously probably seen chiropractors on Instagram or YouTube, and their whole strategy is just videos of them adjusting spines. Like they'll have a hot woman on the table for obvious reasons, and then in some very skimpy Lululemon attire, and then the chiropractor is just adjusting her neck. And that game is very obvious of like what they're doing, right? So I'm not saying you have to do that, but if you can show demonstration of what it is you do, I think all this kind of stuff is helpful. But I think, again, like a lot of this stuff is more about, I think there's some more opportunity here to maybe do a little bit of education, like what really separates you. Engagement is like, meh, it's not quite there. There's not a lot of people seeing her stuff. It is what it is, right? So again, I go back to the bio first and foremost. I want to clearly articulate, who do I serve? If I have a specific avatar, I want to put that into the bio. Now, if I'm a local chiropractor and I serve everyone, then maybe my avatar is the local area, right? So serving active men and women in Buckhead, Atlanta. Like however you want to define it or what the specific problem is. Like if you specialize in low back pain, even though you can help a lot of people, maybe you specialize in one area. So that's a consistent theme that I see on a lot of Instagram profiles, is just a lack of clarity around the problem we're solving and the avatar we're helping. Again, so what? Who cares what's in it for me? The other thing that I think is important to consider in Instagram posts is, right, like you have the top of the feed here to pin some posts. So I think it's important when you land on someone's page to get an understanding of like who they are, what they do, show me some proof. Like if I go to this person's page, like I'll just show you an example from ours in a second. So I'll just go to my profile. And again, my profile is not like, anywhere near what it could be. But you can see here, like this video we recently put in, it's our story. This is actually a call to action for a free course for health professionals, who we are. Aesthetically, our profile just is all over the place. So there's not much rhyme or reason to that. But, I think when you look at the pinned posts and if someone comes to your profile, whether it's on desktop or mobile probably most likely, you want to give them like, it's like a website, right? Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Like show me some proof. And so, even here in the bio, helping health experts build world-class coaching businesses without the grind. Like it's very clear what it is we do. And then we've got some proof, okay? 1,300 plus clients. It's actually way more than that now. 500,000 lives improved. And then we have a call to action, right? So free $1 million health coaching roadmap, go here. You'll notice that we don't use a Linktree. And this is something I see a lot of people do in their bios is they use Linktrees. And if we go here, there's probably a bunch of links. Look at this. What am I supposed to do with this? What do you want me to do? Right? I can tell a lot about someone's business based on how many different things they want us to do. Like, can we just direct people to one thing? If someone lands on your profile, what's the one thing you want them to do? Click here, opt in. So if we go back to our page, this goes to an opt-in page. Free for health professionals, the $1 million health coaching roadmap that's helped. Click here, opt in and watch it. Okay, that's the only thing I want people from Instagram to do other than maybe message me and whatever. So be very, very intentional and clear about what you want people to do from your bio. It's super important. So that's that. Let's move to the next one. So Kelly. So we've got 167 followers, 65 following, or she's following 65 people. Okay, so we know that she is a GP, MD, certified faster way coach. So she actually worked with our clients, Amanda Tress, who's the founder of Faster Way to Fat Loss. So if I go here, she posted this a week ago. I want to get a sense of like someone's like recent, like what is her cadence? So they posted this a week ago. This is 2 weeks ago. I'm assuming this one will be 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. This one is 2 weeks ago. All right. So we have a little bit of an inconsistent schedule. It sounds like we're posting once a week, maybe a few times a week. We want to get into a daily cadence every single day, guys. Like you got to be posting stuff every single day. And you're like, Yuri, I don't want to do that. Good. You're not going to grow your business. Like it is what it is, right? We post twice a day on Instagram. Like we can certainly go more than that, but like at the minimum, you got to be like, there's no easy button. There's no easy way to grow a business. You have to put in the work. And when you're online, no one knows you exist. The challenge with content is you can post once a day and still no one's going to see it. So the dilemma nowadays is that Instagram, it's actually a good thing and a bad thing. It's based, like Instagram used to be a social graph, which meant that your posts would be shown to your followers. Now, over the last 2 years, because of TikTok, it moved to a interest graph, which means that content is now shown based on what's performing well. So you could have 167 followers and have a banger of a post that gets millions of views. And that's awesome. The challenge is that your content has to be awesome. And it doesn't mean that it needs to be produced. So it doesn't have to be like fancy, whatever. It just needs to be something that really like takes off. And that means you need to put out more quantity to find what's going to work. So it is what it is, right? Okay, so let's just go back to the top here. So again, if I'm Kelly, I'm a medical doctor. I'm assuming most of my people are just coming to me, like they're dropping into my lap from word of mouth, referrals, whatever. Okay, so I would probably want to look at, if I'm in Clearwater, I'd probably want to use that as a hashtag in my bio. Because when people type in Clearwater, Florida, like, hey, why not show up, right? Tampa, Clearwater, I want to use these like literally hashtags potentially in my bio. Family and obese, but again, like, what's the purpose? Like, I don't know Kelly, so I'm trying to, or Carrie here, sorry. I'm trying to understand like, what is the purpose of this page? Is the purpose of this page to educate? Maybe. If the purpose is to educate, to what end? Like, why? Like, because you just want to share your stuff. Okay, if you just want to share your stuff, then I'm assuming there's probably some end result of that. Like maybe it gives you more patience. Cool. All right, so if we want to get more patience, like what do we want people to do? So again, we've got a couple different links here. So again, we have 3 links and a link tree in there. Too much stuff going on. So if I go to her website, if I go to the website, like this is taking forever to load. I mean, even this website, I mean, like, what do we want people to do on this website, right? I have another video of like critiquing website. It's the same idea, like being very clear about what is the single action I want someone to take when they come to my profile. Click this link to get this thing for free. Or if it's come into my practice, free 15-minute consult, click here now. If you have a specific area you focus on, like obesity medicine, I don't know, like top 15 health foods that cause weight gain. Health foods that cause weight gain, that's interesting. Click below to get it now. They opt in, they download your thing, you build know, like, and trust with them, you build your email list, maybe some of those people become patients, maybe you build your following, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, you become this notoriety in the whole health space, you publish books, you're on all the TV shows. I don't know what the end game is, okay? But we want to start thinking more strategically about what is the purpose of this. So we have a podcast, cool. But again, like, no one has taken this URL on mobile and popping it into the chat or into the browser. Like, you can't even, it's very, very hard on mobile to like, okay, I got to click and drag and copy and then move. Like, this is not going to happen. So if you have a podcast you want people to listen to, watch the full episode, link in bio. And then maybe your link in bio is watch the podcast or whatever that might be. So here, we don't even have that in here. Maybe it's under the Linktree. But again, like, so many, like, what do you want people to do, right? What do you want people to do? So again, a lot of warning flags for me when I'm talking to business owners, health experts, is just a lack of clarity. Hey, where do you want your business to be in a year from now? That's a good question. I never thought about that. That's a warning flag. You're not going to grow your business if you don't know where you want it to go. What do you want people to do here? I don't know. Well, until you do, you're probably not going to get it. So I'm looking at this as like a little bit of lack of clarity. And, you know, it's hard to devise a strategy content-wise when you don't have clarity about what that is. All right, let's look at one more. So this is Sheetal Gulati, functional medicine nutritionist, homeopath. Let's look at the bio again, nutritional medicine and health. Okay, so what, who cares what's in it for me? DNA genes, what does that even mean, right? So what, who cares what's in it for me? Gut test, so what, who cares what's in it for me? Omega-3 test, hormones test, hair tissue. What is the purpose? Okay, this is a keyword stuffed bio. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to get ranked in Instagram for these types of keywords because people type in hair tissue mineral test. Okay, let's just say that's a search term. My question is, can you do that virtually? If so, cool. If you have to do it locally, if they have to come into the clinic, you probably want to have your location because it seems like she's in the UK. But if she has to see people in person, then she may want to mention that in her bio, like London-based functional medicine nutritionist. All right, so where are we going? Going back to the website. All right. Your health matters. I know that. Thank you. I don't know the purpose. Like what, like, okay, so all of this stuff, with all that said, like, I don't know Sheetal, but if I'm looking at the bio, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so with all of this said, would it make sense that the call to action is like, find the health test that's most suitable for you, click here below, like something like that. So it's relevant to the profile, or at least the bio here. Because right now it's like a little bit of everything. So we don't know what the single target market is or the single profitable problem because there probably is none. She probably helps everyone who falls into her lap, which is probably few and far between because the lack of clarity in her messaging is very obvious. Okay, so we have something on PCOS here. Okay, so educational, this reads like a WebMD type of post, so it lacks a little bit of like emotion, story, like a good hook. So we have PCOS, we have calcium for bones down here, we have cancer over here, detox pathways over here, vitamin A, perimenopause, menopause, etc. I'm still unclear about what problem she solves. So right away, if I don't know what problem she solves, she doesn't solve a specific problem. She's a generalist. If she's a generalist, I have a sense of how her business is doing. And her business is probably like whatever. She's probably getting word of mouth referrals. That's how this goes, okay? So she started posting 19 weeks ago, so relatively new on Instagram. And her last post was 1 week ago. Before that, 2 weeks ago. Before that, 3 weeks ago. So her cadence is 1 post per week. That's not really going to get us anywhere. Okay. So if you're not going to post, if you're only posting once a week, don't post at all. To be honest, like it's like build out a cadence that is more consistent. And part of this process is figuring out what type of content do you enjoy shooting or creating. So for me, the internal battle has been, I don't like creating content that Instagram wants, which I'm like, dude, that's a lose-lose game. I like creating boring business-related content. I don't want to do dancing videos. I don't want to do things that are going to be gimmicky. I understand that it's going to get more views, but I'm not in the game of getting more views. I don't care if we have 1 million followers. I want followers who are the right people who become clients of ours so we can actually help them. So a lot of my content, we've tested a lot of different things. And this is what I want to help you understand is you have to find what's true for you. If you love doing face-to-camera videos on your iPhone while you're going for a walk, do that. Just understand the principles of what is needed in any type of content, which is HSO, hook, story, offer. The first words that come out of your mouth are really important. The first 3 seconds of your videos, the first 1 sentence of your caption, the written text is very important. You can learn that skill. You can start to see the world through a bit of a different lens of a better hook. You have to grab people's attention no matter what type of content you produce. It doesn't mean you have to do things like jumping off a cliff and ridiculous stuff like that. You can be an educator, but you also have to understand how to grab someone's attention right off the bat. The story or the solution is essentially just talking about like the meat of the story or the content. And then the final piece is the offer. So the offer in this case is like, what do you want them to do next? Follow for more, drop me some fire below, comment like whatever keywords you want for this free thing. Just being very intentional around that. And so that's a basic skill that all of us can get good at, regardless of the type of formats of content we produce. Again, like some people love doing entertaining things. Other people don't necessarily want to do that. And I think it's okay not to try to do what other people are doing, but you also have to model what works, right? If your stuff doesn't get a lot of views, there's probably a reason for that. And if you try to do something that's proven to work, a specific format of video, then it's like, cool, do I enjoy doing that stuff? Because do I want to build a business where I hate the content I'm creating? No, what's the point? To like play this game? Forget it. So you have to find that balance of like what you enjoy doing, what works, and find that happy medium in between. So those are 5 Instagram profiles that I'd say are like mediocre at best. Again, I'm not saying I have the best Instagram profile on the planet, but when I look at people's assets, websites, Instagram profiles, I can tell a lot about their business. But for you, I'm hoping you get out of this at least 1 or 2 things. In the profile, be very clear about the problem you're solving and who it's for, okay? Because everyone's asking subconsciously, so what, who cares, what's in it for me? If you use those 3 questions as the filter for all of your messaging, it will land better. Second, be more consistent with your content, at least daily. And with that said, find a good type of content you enjoy creating that also you've seen other models of it work, whether it's a Twitter post or, face the camera, but understanding why did that one specifically work better? Trying to learn some of the nuances so you see marketing, which is all this is, in a different lens, in a lens that like grabs attention and gets people to stick with you. And then finally, going back to the bio, what do you want people to do next? In everything you create, what's the singular activity I want them to do on this profile? Click this link, opt in for this thing. If they're on a specific post, what's the one thing you want them to do next? It's not leave. It's follow for more, drop a keyword below for something for free, or something. Be very, very strategic in your thinking. And if you do those things, your Instagram content, your profile, your business in general will do better. So if you've enjoyed this, let me know in the comments below if you want me to do more of these. I'm happy to do this. This is actually very easy for me to do, and it's a lot of fun. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel because I've got hundreds of other videos already on the channel and way more coming down the road to help you build a more successful business online, especially if you're a health coach or a health expert. And final step is if you want to take your business to the next level, then you're going to want to check out our $1 Million Health Coaching Roadmap, which is the next video right here. Trust me, Check it out.